Hello folks, and welcome back ladies and gents. I am the Bibliotech Nerd. And of course, this is our Vintage Friday video, but of course it's not quite released on Friday. My schedule for the past 2 weeks has kind of been a bit hectic, which of course has resulted in my videos not quite being released on their targeted days. Now, I have started working on catching up with the videos, and I've also implemented a few things that hopefully I'll be ahead with the videos, so then the goal is by the start of April, everything will be smooth from then on. So do bear with me during this turbulent time, as I will be getting back on track soon enough. But this is the show where we review comic books and graphic novels, so let's get back into it with this week's Vintage Friday. Superman No. 76, double feature. Batman, the world's greatest detective, joins forces with the Man of Steel to become the mightiest team on Earth. The 52-page Superman No. 76 from June 1952 was the first story to contain both Superman and Batman, although they had appeared together on comic covers many times before. This classic first team-up was accompanied by a droll backup adventure in which Superman boosted the career of an inept detective in The Misfit Manhunter. There was also a kooky romance titled Miss Superman, in which Lois tried to set up Clark with her flatmate, clearing the way to marriage with Superman, she hoped. The light tone of these tales reflect the gentle humor of the main strip. Now, let's not waste any more time and get into the summary. Being a superhero is definitely not easy work, folks. Day in and day out fighting crime takes a lot out of someone. Both Superman and Batman have decided that it's time to take a short break and go on a cruise. But crime doesn't take a day off, and having discovered each other's identities on the ship, the two must spring into action as a bold robbery occurs on the pier. The famous Fabian diamonds have been stolen, and Lois Lane's life has been put in danger by a wall of fire. Although it doesn't take long for our dynamic duo to save the day, it does seem that the perpetrator has managed to evade them. They come to the conclusion that he must be stowing away on the cruise ship. It now becomes a cat and mouse game, with Lois deciding to join them on the ship. Both of them must now be vigilant to make sure that Lois doesn't find out their identities, and they must also not tip off the stowaway thief. The only clue that they get is when Superman uses his X-ray vision to spot a hidden gun on one of the engineers. Their suspicions turn out to be true, and they must stop him from escaping as a helicopter is come to pick him up. A fantastic aerial fight occurs, and our two heroes are able to apprehend the criminals. The story ends with some whimsical schemes to ensure that Lois doesn't suspect them two for being the superheroes that they truly are. And that, folks, is the end of the short summary for this Vintage Friday comic. At first, when I read this, I was slightly confused. The story isn't really a serious story, and it's not portrayed in that sense. I'm sure that some of you may agree that the market is kind of saturated with very serious or attempting to be serious stories, which kind of makes it interesting when I come upon a story like this. I only realized later after reading it that it's more akin to a comedy skit, which still makes it a pretty refreshing read, even though the story is kind of dated and the comedy may not hit as well with audiences as it may have back in the day. But it still gets a thumbs up from me. It's a good, quick, short, fun read, and it gets the job done, So that will be the end of this short video. Again, I'm going to reiterate that I will get back on track with releasing the videos. So do stay tuned for that. Like, subscribe, comment, and I shall see you in the next video.